latest now with correspondent Nick Spicer. Nick, we've seen Merkel alongside Laschet many times during this campaign.
We have. I think, though, this will be a really a poignant visit for her. It's almost a, well, not quite victory lap, but swan song. She'll be going back to her constituency that she's represented for 30 years, where she began her career as an MP, where she has over the years brought President George Bush for a pig roast, for example. She's met with the people who work there, fishermen. She's had schnapps with them. She's really done retail politics there. That's where she learned to talk to ordinary German voters. And I think she'll be meeting with Laschet, with people who are in tourism, who are in the fishing industry, as well as the local MP who was 3 years old when she was first elected to office, trying to fill her very, very big shoes. And what it is all about, I think, is really sort of rubbing some of her magic and political popularity, still the most popular politician in Germany, if you can believe it, after 16 years in office as Chancellor, on Armin Laschet, the hapless candidate for Chancellor for the Christian Democratic Union. And they're campaigning in the East in particular, because former East Germans, I think we can call them, are more undecided than the former West Germans, or people in the former West Germany, and they vote less by mail, which means that there's a bigger chance of winning more votes there, as well as going to the region where she was the MP for many years and saying goodbye and appearing with Armin Laschet, where I think there will be, a lot of emotion in the room, and it'll make for some good TV and some good news stories.
Yeah, the Christian Democrats discovering the hard way that it's tough to run as a CDU candidate when Angela Merkel is not top of the slate.
Yeah, and she tried to stay out of the race and sort of stand back. And as you know, she's leaving the political stage, has no ambition for an international national job. She'll be the first chancellor in German history to not be voted out of office. So remarkable to that extent. And she wanted to sort of stand aside, not weighing in on who should replace her as chancellor candidate, but given the fortunes of Armin Laschet falling behind the Social Democratic Party, she made a speech in the Bundestag saying, if you vote for the socialists, you might be having to govern in a coalition with Die Linke, these sort of former communists, and then going on the campaign trail. So reluctantly going on the campaign trail, trying to have some of her magic popularity rub off on Armin Laschet. And truth be told, there's still about 1 in 5 Germans who are undecided. It's a close race. The Christian Democratic Union fell behind. It's gradually coming back. The SPD, the Social Democratic Party, which was far behind and then had a miraculous sort of resurrection under Olaf Scholz to become the front runner. So it's really becoming a horse race now, and it looked like the SPD was slated to win. It's really anybody's guess now, and I think Angela Merkel and Armin Laschet are trying to tip the balance right to the very last days of the race, however they can.
Yeah, what is it, like a 3-point difference according to the latest polls?
Yeah, it's changing. I think it's 23 to 20 now, and then the Greens are 17. But you have 20% of people who are undecided across the country, and because of the pandemic, a lot of people voted by mail. So the dynamic is different, and I think it's pretty hard to forecast when you have these polls. Some people have already voted, so you're dealing with a slice of people, presumably, that has not yet voted. It's a different way of predicting political outcomes, if it can still actually be done. It's hard work for the pollsters, but the numbers are there. There's always the margin of error, but look, this is a horse race. We're within the margin of error, 2 or 3%, and it's pretty hard to forecast. It looked pretty clearly that the SPD was going to win, given the momentum, the curve of the polls, and now that the lines are sort of almost heading towards some kind of intersection, Francois. So I know you're going to be here. It'll be a real horse race.
And Matti Francis will be in this chair on election night. Yes, I will be in Berlin. Joining you, Nick Spicer, who reporting there live from Berlin.